Soldiers usually become just free farmers, free constructions, free cleaners. They do pretty much every job that Kim Jong-un wants to do, and do not pay them, and do not feed them, and do not even dress them. Therefore, we should not forget, like literally everyone is a victim in North Korean society except Kim Jong-un. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Yeonmi Park. I am a North Korean defector human rights activist. Today in this video, I am going to talk about the female soldiers of North Korea. I have talked about the plight of women in North Korea in the past in my videos. However, today in this video, I will be focusing on the female soldiers mainly. In 2015, after Kim Jong-un came into power, he made military service compulsory for both female and male. Male, as a man, they have to serve 10 years in the military, and women, they have to serve 7 years. Since this new law began in 2015, 40% of women aged between 18 to 24 is in the military. Almost like 1 in 2 is in there and serving in this military, but the conditions is undescribable. When women go into this military service, the first thing they get is actually skipping their period. They don't get enough nutrition and rest that humans deserve to function and make our natural things to work. It doesn't work. But the thing is that it's more heartbreaking thing is that women actually are glad to see that their period are gone, because in the military they don't have sanitary products for them to have periods, and therefore they are so glad that they are skipping this. But the main thing is, what the hardest part being a woman and being in the military in North Korea is not disease or malnutrition. I think actually malnutrition would be the top, because you not eating, you die, and a lot of soldiers, men and women both, they do die from malnutrition. But the main thing for women is actually sexual abuse. I just hope you see this footage actually got out from North Korea of this woman being sexually harassed actually in public. And imagine when there's it's not in public and other soldiers are there, what this official man gonna do to these women. It's unthinkable how they treat with these women. And there's no system to protect these female soldiers. They just become sexual toys for these high officials to play with. And during this time, when women get abused, of course the ones they need to go find to report, they are the ones abusing them. All of them are taking advantage of these female soldiers. And now Kim Jong-un made it mandatory for women to go and being raped by this man. When these women do not have periods a lot of times, so actually pregnancy is not as common as we think, because in North Korea there is no contraception pills or devices, and therefore still though few do get pregnant. And in those occasions when women get pregnant by these sort of officials, women are the ones get punished, and they get disgraced by their family and trying to get illegal abortion, and they get infection and they die. It is so horrible situation. But the thing is that in this military though, still the main thing that haunts these female soldiers is malnutrition. Even this I remember when my mom had a friend and she had 2 daughters, they were older than us, And back then, actually, going to military for as a woman was not a compulsory. However, she still wanted to send her daughter, and she said to us, I remember that, oh, if I send my first daughter to military service, one less mouth to feed. And that was the reason why she was sending her daughter to military, because she could not feed her daughter. But in North Korea, it's not a wartime. When I see these movies during the World War II, World War One, and when the soldiers go in the military, they say, come home safely. And in North Korea, even though there's no world war happens, still parents wonder the same thing, can my children come home safely? Because when they go to military, a lot of them do not make home safely. And of course, these women are the same thing. When they go in the military, that regime supposedly provide everything for them, but they don't. It's called under the name of self-reliance. Literally, they use this BS ideology called self-reliance on everything. And they tell soldiers like, oh, you gotta be self-reliant. But however, during this time, that they demand the soldiers become their free labor. Basically, even though North Korea by per capita is the highest density of military soldiers. In America, there are 5 military soldiers out of 1,000 people. In North Korea, 47 people out of 1,000 population. And North Korea, that's why it's one of the biggest militaries in the world. And in this situation, soldiers usually become just free farmers, free constructions, free cleaners. They do pretty much every job that Kim Jong-un wants to do, and do not pay them, and do not feed them, and do not even dress them. So these soldiers, while doing this such a dangerous construction work, building a dam, building a bridge, building a building, and equipment is not even there, they just die so easily, and the regime do not even give them right boots or clothes. Their feet get poked and get injured, and when they go to hospital, there is such a thing called like a military hospital. But when they go there, these hospitals do not even have antibiotics. And they demand these soldiers to bring their own drug and also bribe these doctors. I mean, when you are working and trained and tortured in this military, how do they find money and to bring their own drug? And when they die, there's no compensation for the family. There's just a certificate for the family that, oh, how long your child served in the military. And that's it. That's all parents get too. My aunt also lost her son in the military when he was only 17 years old. And of course, there's no such an idea that there should be any compensation or none of that. And when these women, I think mostly what shocks me is that I just can't imagine 40% of anyone between 18 to 24 is in the military, and there's no way out. But when they're serving in the military, the harshest punishment if these women try to escape and go home and to find some food, they get so severely punished. And not to even mention escaping entirely from North Korea. There's no way out for these women, and it's a lot of times they require luck. And some women, in order to find one one bowl of cornstarch or something, they just accept all this sexual abuse. But even also, a lot of times these men even don't even give them anything and just take advantage of them and treat them like trash. I thought about doing this video, and I didn't make all of you to think North Korean men horrible. And because I grew up in a family seeing my father was beating my mom, and that was beginning of my first trauma, seeing how men was beating on my mom. And of course, it didn't do anything good to me. The fact that is, though, I still have compassion for them and for my father who was beating my mom as well, is because there was no education for them. People really what shocks me is that when I came here, they somewhat think people naturally know how to treat different gender or naturally know how to treat animals or human beings, all of that. It is all through education. And that's why like I don't hold a North Korean man with the standard that I would hold somebody who grew up in this free society. I hold Kim Jong-un in a different standard because he was precisely educated in Switzerland, where he knew how humans supposedly be treated. However, even though the man you saw in that video harassing this woman looks like animal, like I want to kill this guy, that man, that is also someone's child and never had education on how to treat a woman. And also in a lot of ways, that's when men easy on women, they get bullied from other peers that like, why are you being easy on women and treating them like somebody who deserves some kind of any respect. And there's so much also bully going on even within men's military soldiers. Therefore, we should not forget, like literally everyone is a victim in North Korean society except Kim Jong-un. And I just hope that you guys don't hate that, male soldier too much. As much as I hate him, I think also we have to understand that they are living in a different planet. Their common sense, their law is very different than here. And this is why I really think that education is important, raising awareness is important. That, the same Koreans, the North and South, we were the same people for 1,000 years right before the division. And look at to Korea, how it became so different. The system can make us that different, make us into another humans. That's why I think we need to understand the value of the free democratic system that we have, and we need to raise awareness and educate others. This is what we become when we lose our liberty and freedom of speech. I'm so grateful that you're here with me to share, raise awareness about North Koreans and truth. And thank you guys for your continued support. I look forward to seeing you all next time.